Guten Morgen.
Happy Tuesday.
Oh, I was trying to make them think they were watching a German channel. Guten Morgen, mein Frau und Fräulein und Mann. It's good to see you. All right.
The wooden shoes put you over the top there.
That would not be German. That would be Dutch.
Close.
Dutch. By the way, Dutch wooden shoes. Since I lived in the Netherlands, here's a little piece of knowledge for you. So if you ever see a pair of wooden shoes, they're big. They're bigger than your feet would be. They always made them really big. Why do they make them really big?
I have no idea. So you can put fruit in them at Christmas.
Well, that's always handy. No, they put them in there because they weren't very comfortable to wear. So you had to put big wool socks on to make them more comfortable. So they had to make room for the big wool socks and for the hay that you would stick in there as well to insulate your feet even more in the wintertime.
God, I can smell the shoes from here.
I love wooden shoes.
My dad traveled to the Netherlands a lot, and he brought like little banks, little wooden shoe banks that hang on the walls for the kids. They put little coins in there. They're cute, but I wouldn't wear them.
How big are they?
Well, they're not big.
They sound like they're big.
Yeah, they're like this big. They're not.
I had a pair of wooden shoes. When I was in Europe, because we lived in the Netherlands.
I can see you wearing them now.
I mean, I would not.
I can see Jim being like, "What's a wooden shoe?"
Oh, we're working. Clunk, 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 clunk. Oh, look what I got right now. This is great. Ann's here. Good morning, Ann. Paula's here. Richard's here.
Outside? It's kind of a gloomy looking morning, but
I know. But that's what we're going to deal with because Ida is in town.
Well,
she came to visit us. Yeah, the parts we don't like.
Yeah.
Well, the parts we don't like are down.
No.
We left those in New Orleans.
I'm happy with the part we got. I'll take it.
All right. So what happens when a 4-year-old finds a beehive? This is truly phenomenal. A 4-year-old was messing around the neighborhood, found a beehive. Not just one beehive, but 2 beehives, and is now kind of famous.
What did they do?
Well, he messed with the beehives. Did he get stung?
I would imagine he did.
No.
He didn't.
Because he discovered bees that have been hidden since 1950 in I think it's Palo Alto, California area.
Are they dead?
No, they're alive. They are stingless bees, and they are a type of bee that comes from Brazil, thought to have been dead, I think, down there for the last 20 years as well.
Wait, he found bees that were extinct?
Yes. So
they're alive?
So if I have this story correct, I got
goosebumps.
I know, this is great. This is a 4-year-old that was out just exploring his neighborhood. They're not saying where the bees are because they want to keep it hidden.
Oh, yeah, they don't want people touching them.
So, and these are stingless bees. They don't sting you at all. And I don't remember why, but back in the 1950s, maybe even 1950 itself, there were some scientists who, the bee population, I believe, was dropping. Well, how can we import some bees? Well, they got these bees down in Brazil that don't sting. They're stingless bees. So they sent them up here to try to see if they would survive. They didn't survive, I don't think, in Florida. They didn't survive in Utah. They sent them to this guy out in California, and nothing there. And so they thought they all died. They thought they all just gone. And then this 4-year-old is messing around and finds this hive. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute, hang on. These are different bees. And they send them to a bee specialist. And they're like, where did you get these? These things are dead. They haven't been around here for 60 years. They're not even native to here.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So they've been surviving. One must have escaped this doctor's mad scientist lab out in California and said, I'm leaving! You can't make me stay here! And the queen bee is in the front. And she's being followed by all the drones. And they're making a mad escape. And they did. They escaped. I know, Superboy, right?
Yeah,
right,
that's
Richard?
amazing. So I have, believe it or not, I have some bug connections.
Hey, Dee.
My dad, as many of you know, was in the Air Force, and he worked for the government for a long time. And when we were out west, he worked on a program on how to, birth control for bees, like the ones that like sting you. The nasty, like wasps and stuff like that.
The yellow jackets, not the honeybees.
Yeah, not honeybees, but it was like a government experiment.
To get rid of...
I'd
be all for that.
And then my sister-in-law works for the government. She studies bees and all kinds of bugs. I'm gonna have to ask her what she knows about this story.
The stingless bees.
Fascinated. When we go to the Outer Banks, she likes to go for walks and collect bugs that she could take back and study.
Oh,
That's what she does.
Friends of ours, they had their son was getting into bugs. I think he's now studying bugs in college. But any hotel they ever stayed at, he would go to the pool filter. You wouldn't find him in the pool. You'd find him looking in the pool filter, reaching in, scooping
Get all
out
those bugs. Oh, he can come to my house.
all kinds of things.
I got some bugs.
Marley's here. Rob is here. Hey, Rob, are you flying today in some exotic location, or are you just down the street from me at home? That's my question. Alice is here. Debbie's here.
Debbie.
Christian's here. Good group of people. Hey, talking about the bees escaping. Can I show you a picture?
Is it?
We got to go on a field trip. So there's this guy. And let me flip it around. Come with me, Amanda. So he and his buddy robbed something. Cops come after him, of course, and
Uh-oh, here we go. I'm holding it.
all right. So he tries to escape, and they're on a motorcycle, and they wreck, and they crash. They get the one guy, the other dude's on, and decides to swim. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. Go back. Here it comes.
Look at the monitors. Oh,
Right here.
my gosh.
He decided to swim through the pond.
Oh, well, this guy, yes.
So the cops grabbed the paddle boat and
Yep.
started paddling out.
Oh, we lost connection.
Stay
There
right
we go.
there. Another one lost got a boogie board. And these guys are in a canoe and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, look, this guy's facing this way. This guy's facing
over here. But
yeah. So they caught up with the dude. He didn't swim too fast.
oh, let me flip this around. Here we go. Yeah. So he ended up like he was going to drown. They saved his life.
Yeah, and that picture, because I looked at that picture, I'm like, well, he's got a life jacket on. Before he jumped in the water, he grabbed a life jacket.
Yeah, but
always safety first, even when you're a fleeing criminal. Oh, I can't get in the water. I'm going to go a long distance. I need to grab a life jacket. So that's what I thought. And then, of course, I read the story, and they threw him a life jacket as they were about to catch him, and he was drowning.
Yes, yeah. I would have paid money to see a police officer on a paddle boat. Can you imagine like paddle boating across whitewater?
I know. They look good. They had their uniform on and everything. I still like the guys that were in the canoe that were backwards. No! Why are we going anywhere? Why are we going anywhere?
Yeah, the canoe people weren't.
They're like this. Which side are you going to paddle on, Amanda?
I'm gonna paddle this side.
Okay, we're not going anywhere.
Oh my God! Let's try this way.
Keystone Cops is what it is. You know why? You know why they were that way?
Why?
Because they're Canadian.
Oh, ooh. Shot over the bow on that one.
That's okay. I'm not going to Canada anytime soon.
Yeah.
We're still not allowed to go there.
Speaking of police officers, on a previous post, thank you. Did you see the picture below of the guy that looks just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? I mean, just like him. Jim found one difference, and what was that difference?
Well, he was big everywhere. Everything was massive
Everything
and
was
muscular,
massive,
and
yeah.
big veins were just bulging on every part of this man. It was like, and then I looked down around his waist, and I was like, "Oh, that's teeny. That was a little bit. That's a little bit different." I noticed a difference between the wannabe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the actual Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne, the real one, is a little teeny when it comes to this area. The other guy's massive wrists. His wrists look like they were this thick,
Yeah.
and Dwayne has little
delicate wrists.
delicate wrists. With then it bulges out.
And then a lot of veins
Yeah.
popping out everywhere.
So he has teeny
Delicate wrists
Teeny.
compared to Officer
wrists.
Fields, who has been a police officer in Alabama for 17 years, and it is uncanny now. I mean, honestly.
If he doesn't have an agent already, he needs to get himself an agent.
Right.
So he can make some money.
Yeah.
Because you'll get invited to parties.
I know. The Rock says, I want to hear all your rock stories because I
Right.
know people have mistaken you for me. I
Right.
would love to hear. Yeah, I bet he's going to end up being like a body double for him or something. If he has any acting ability whatsoever, I mean, maybe a remake of Twins with like two people that actually look alike. I don't know.
Yeah, the tattoos on his arms are a little different too.
Oh, yeah. The other guy doesn't have tats. Yeah, that's right.
I went to a party when I lived in Nashville. I went to a party. It was a body double party. And I was there.
A body double?
Yeah, so I'm in Nashville, and I was at a party with all the stars from the 90s who were country singers. Alan Jackson was there. I was there with, and I can't even think of the people right now, but there were 5 or 6 country singers.
Tim McGraw.
And they weren't actually, they were just...
Doppelgangers.
We're doppelgangers. We're like this
Okay.
rock guy. and they advertised it as that, too.
Yeah.
They're like, it's all the, Tim McGraw. I forgot their names.
Oh, okay.
It's been forever since I did country music. I can't even think of the names anymore.
So I worked in country radio a long time here in this town, and there's a guy, and I can't remember his real name, but he looks just like Toby Keith, and people had a nickname for him because he'd be at all the concerts. There's always the guys that try to be mistaken for.
Oh
Tim
yeah, there's
McGraw.
those guys too.
Yeah.
Well, these guys would actually go to parties. They were actually hired to go to parties and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
It was their living.
That's funny.
It was their, and it's like, hey, you need a celebrity,
That is hilarious.
and you can't afford the real one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, we got to go. I'm looking at the time. That's why I keep looking that way.
Okay. What are we doing after 8?
I don't know. No idea.
No idea.
Go. No, we're talking to what's the guy's name? Christopher, I think it is. I think it's Christopher. Anyways, he is. He may be cheap. I don't know. You get to decide. He doesn't want to support anyone's fundraising activities who come knocking on his door.
He's kind of a jerk.
Well, he's like, I can't afford it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
can't afford it. How do I say no? I mean, how many times can Girl Scouts come up to you and sell you cookies after you've bought them from
you say
4?
yes every time. Yes every time to Girl Scouts.
Okay, bad example. So how many times can you support the band boosters when 15 band people come up to your door and knock? Sooner or later, you have to say no.
The Christmas wreath, the wrapping paper, the candy bars.
And it's that time of year. It's the beginning of the school year when everybody's putting all their fundraising stuff out. Yeah. So he's trying to say, how do I be the Grinch without being the Grinch?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. How do you say no?
Okay.
All right. Yes to Girl Scouts. Yes, Richard.
We love our Girl Scouts.
Always.
We love their cookies.
Give me some Thin Mints.
See y'all. Be good.